talking about my favorite show, The 100. This is a review for last night's episode entitled Sic Semper Tyrannis. I know it's a season 5 episode, but I honestly don't remember what number they're on. They had too many breaks for me. I think it's episode 9. Anyway, I digress on that. I did enjoy tonight's episode immensely. Just a pretty decent episode. Basically, there were two stories, what was going on in the bunker and what was going on in the valley. We'll start with the bunker. So anyway, in the last episode, if you don't remember, Bellamy poisoned his sister. Okay, she was getting out of control, so they decided, I got to put my sister down. So he poisons her. And, she's in bed, she's dying off. Jackson, the medic's trying to figure out what to do. And, there's some suspicion there, They're looking at Bellamy and like, you were the last one with her. All of a sudden she got sick. Indra kind of jumps to his defense. She's like, no, he wouldn't do it. It's his sister. Well, we all know he did. So, anyway, like I said, they think Octavia's going to die. So Indra steps up and says, you know what? I'll be the next commander. Because, I was, her second in command. And, you know what? I'm thinking we shouldn't do this whole attack the valley thing. But then, no sooner that happened, the Miller, who has always been a decent secondary character, he steps up and he's like, no, you know what? She said we should attack the valley. We're going to attack the valley like Blood Rain had told us to. And, challenges Indra. And then all sorts of people were jumping in. No, we should do this. We should do that. Indra realizes, yeah, they're not just going to go along with her. So they need a better plan for succession. And, of course, it's going to be Maddie, because she's got the Nightblood. That will unite the clans like it used to do in the past. And they try to run this plan by Clark. Clark is pissed off, and she goes, no, she's a kid. You're going to get her killed. And one of I thought the best scenes was, that Indra had to go to her daughter, Gaia, and she's like, hey, you used to believe in this faith stuff. You think you can help me out here? And Gaia's kind of rejecting the idea. And I thought, that is a nice turnaround. I knew when they had Maddie, and you realize that she's a Nightblood, and you realize how crazy Octavia is, that there was going to be another secession fight. It's like, how's this going to turn out? They used to believe that these people with black blood, they were magical, and they should be the kings. But, Octavia, she's been holding shit down for the last 6 years, and people really like her. What I didn't suspect is that it would be Indra trying to push the plans. I thought it would be Gaia, because Gaia used to be the Flame Keeper, and she's the one who threw a hissy fit when Rowan, the king from the Winter Nation, Ice Nation, took over. He said, I'm going to be the king. She's like, no, it has to be someone with Nightblood. And stole the chip and all that jazz. But no, Gaia, after 6 years, she still kind of believes in the faith. She was still doing a religious sort of prayer with some of her buddies. But she trusts Octavian. She's not going to put Maddie up on the pedestal just because she's got Nightblood. But then Indra kind of coaxes her into it. And they bring Maddie in. And they're like, Maddie, apparently they didn't tell her because it's like, Guy's like, hey, they tell you what this is about? And Maddie's like, what? Shows her the chip. Maddie starts freaking out because she knows she'd probably get killed. But somehow they convince her. They put the chip into her. Meanwhile, Clark, she's pissed off because, Maddie's life is in danger. She talks to her old flame, Naya. And I like how Naya was kind of resistant against it, too. Because, you think, oh, the two of them are going to get back together after 6 years. And when, Clark shows up and basically doesn't give her any attention, Naya says, you know what, fuck Clark. At first, and then she's realizing, okay, I'm going to help Clark. And frees Clark, who goes to Octavia, who, Jackson figured out how to cure her, so she's up on her feet, dealing with Indra, who wanted to, basically euthanize her. Clark's like, I don't want my friend to, be the grounder queen, or she'll get killed. But I don't like you either, Octavia. And Octavia's like, well, if you shoot me, your friend becomes the commander. So they team up, and they stop Maddie from becoming the next grounder queen by kicking her out of the city with Clark, but it was a double cross. The guy who they sent with Maddie and Clark was going to shoot them until Maddie wakes up, because when they put the chip in, she was kind of passed out and they thought she was going to die. Anyway, that guy's like, yeah, I got my orders, until Maddie starts talking. He's like, I've got the memories, the commander, you're so-and-so. And the guy's like, oh my God, drops to his knees, and then Clark shoots him, of course. And I like Clark's reasoning on that. Yeah, sure, this guy, he believes you're reincarnation of all the commanders, but at the same time, about 2 seconds before that, he was going to shoot you just because someone told him to. So, yeah, fuck that guy. I just thought it was weird that this guy all of a sudden, he's like, oh, she must have the memories of the commander. Well, basically, she asked people who the fuck you were. I mean, she's been in your little town for a few days. I'm sure she's gotten to know some people, so. Anyway, that guy's dead. Who gives a shit? Well, like I said, Octavia, she's still the Red Queen. And after Indra, Gaia, and Bellamy betrayed her, she's putting them in the arena. So that looks like that'll be an interesting next week. Which of the three will survive? But it looks like Indra and Bellamy are going to go at it. I get the feeling that they're just going to bring in some random prisoner to fight Gaia. And I'm like, no! Have all three of them fight to the death. What's the point of killing off some random guy? It's like, hey, I'll fight the old priestess. I wonder who's going to win in that competition. Well, at the 100, maybe they will surprise us. Anyway, that's what happened in the bunker. In the valley, we also had an interesting dynamic where Murphy is trying to get the two sides to turn against one another, because they find out, okay, Abby's got the cure, but she hasn't told these people. So we're going to tell these people that Abby has the cure and that they weren't told, because DeSouza wants to kill you guys off, and we'll see what happens. And, that's what happens. Murphy, they decide, hey, DeSouza, she wants to kill you guys off. He tells us to Paxton, that's the ex-hitman who was, DeSouza's second in command. And you know that there's some tension between the two of them in the past. So Murphy tells that, and it creates this thing where Paxton gets his guys, and they go and confront DeSouza with her guys, and it looks like DeSouza's going to be able to talk them out of it. It's like, okay, we have the cure now. What's the big deal? Playing it off like, I just didn't tell you guys now until I was sure. Murphy's like, I'm not having any of that shit. Throws a rock at it, at the crowd, and of course everyone thinks the other side did it, so they start fighting, killing one another. Yeah, that was kind of pretty cool. This is how Murphy just puts this whole thing into motion. And anyway, like I said, when they start killing people, they realize, oh, Abby, we should get her out of that, which I thought was kind of weird, because it's like Kane comes in when the fighting starts, and like, hey guys, we got to get out of here. They're killing one another, and Murphy and his clan, in his group, like, yeah, we know we're the ones that started that shit. And Kane brings up Abby, and all of a sudden Murphy's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to stay here. We got to protect Abby. I'm like, what? Why does Murphy give a shit about fucking Abby? Am I missing something there? I've watched all the seasons. I know he's had interactions with her, but since when did they become best buds where Murphy suddenly realizes he's got to stay around and risk his own life to save her? I mean, if it had been Raven, it would have made sense, because we've already seen that. And I'm thinking, Raven, Murphy and Emery, they both got a thing for Raven. And I was talking about how they could have a polymagalogous relationship with Raven. But Abby, what's the deal there? Why is Murphy all of a sudden like, we got to save Abby? I don't get that. Why did he feel they have to save Abby? There were other defectors, from what they were saying, who were still outside of the cabin, who would probably have gotten killed. Murphy didn't seem to care about them. He just said, oh, you've got to get Abby. I was like, yeah, I wasn't buying it. But Paxton and his group, they basically kill off all of DeSouza's people, and they capture Abby. And DeSouza takes off, I guess, with Murphy and that group. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, that was some good stuff. And that's basically the episode. It's pretty simple, and I just enjoyed it. And I'm hoping they're on next week, and I'll just tell you what I thought of that episode.